We got a fun-filled show tonight.
I met a boy today.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General, A60 Army.
She loving my style every time I'm
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited 6 or 8 you down to Nationals.
I'm around.
When certain people don't get their way or they feel slighted, they feel like they have a right to call us and voice their opinion. You don't.
We locked
Clear. I've never removed a staff to allow a staff to move up.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Now everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town. Everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town. Everybody's a personal trainer.
What up, bro?
What's going on, baby?
Chilling.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm anxious to get to this one, but we got to handle the weekend festivities first.
Yeah. Should be a lively show tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a lively discussion. Cats don't like hearing the truth.
Should be a real lively show tonight. You know? It's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140, and I'm here with my co-host.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General, Bell City Broncos, A60 Army.
Tell me about Bell City.
Yes, sir. Well, obviously, as people seen, not only are we participating in the spring 2026, but we have been accepted into Central Connecticut Pop Warner, Tri-State Pop Warner for the fall, which ultimately was the biggest move we need to make. And I would like to thank Central Connecticut Pop Warner and Tri-State Pop Warner for giving us this opportunity to present my vision in Bristol, Connecticut. We're truly appreciative and grateful. But I'm bringing the same old formula that obviously I had at a prior stop where everybody kind of knows me from. And I'm bringing it to Bristol. There was a wide open territory here in Bristol that we identified. Obviously, my partner, for those that don't know, is LJ Washington from the Forum, Lance, formerly of the Waterbury Patriots. We both bought houses. You know the story. He bought his house in March out here. I bought my house in May. We literally live a minute from each other. And he came to me with this idea in late August. And obviously knowing the history of Bristol and playing against Bristol growing up, being from New Britain, Bristol being right next door, you know, I'm very familiar with the history of Bristol and the sports scene in Bristol. And I thought it'd be a good idea for us to open up a Pop Warner chapter here in Bristol and give the kids of Bristol an opportunity to play on a bigger platform. Obviously, we're going to have a year-round platform where we're going to train in the off-season, leading into the spring, train in the off-season, leading into July, and just keep that formula going that I had working for us in New Britain and just bringing it to Bristol, where, again, was more of a wide open territory, at least space for Pop Warner, and we're here now.
Cool.
So
cool. Sound good.
We start our first indoor training January 22nd, 2026, and we'll be off and running from there. We're going to try to have all levels, obviously, from 6 through 13 in the fall. I'm trying to build the flag program now in the spring to kind of feed the fall, and we'll go from there. You know, obviously, I got a son, 7-year-old son coming up, so he was in mind. LJ has his children who are of younger age. So we have vested interest in making this work. And that's it, my brother. Short,
sound good. So let's talk about National Pop Warner. I would tell you, Tito, that this year down at National Pop Warner Super Bowl might have been the best youth football games that I've saw in a very long time. We're not talking about the venue, regardless of the venue. Some of the best youth football games that I've saw of all time. Let's start with the Fort Myers Firecats versus Capital City. That is Division I 8U. I thought Capital City had the top 2 running backs in the tournament. when I watched the first games.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, it was electrifying. Both those dudes had blazing speed like I've never seen at AU before, but clearly.
Then when I watched Fort Myers Firecats, they have the top 2, possibly 3 athletes at that age group.
You know, Fort Myers definitely at the younger age groups. Yeah, had different speed.
The interior of Fort Myers, the linemen, they went off. I mean, they completely dominated Capital City from start to finish. Capital City couldn't score.
I mean, clearly Fort Myers.
That was complete domination because Capital City is a good football team. Don't make no mistake about it. They're a good football team. But Fort Myers at the 8U level is a great football team.
Well, clearly Fort Myers has taken right now, at least in the last couple of years, the power reins kind of out of Southeast. And they're obviously a program that's a high-level quality program. And they're producing some football teams right now, top to bottom, that you're going to have to deal with year in and year out. So they have kind of sort of become like the bar for everybody else. You're going to have to put teams together to beat Fort Myers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they took 5.
9U, he won national championship.
Fort Myers again. Yeah, again.
Completely unscored on in the national title game. Completely dominated Lower Perk, who also was a really, really good football team. You know,
absolutely.
And when you see teams like Fort Myers walking around with 5 teams at nationals, and their 2 younger teams are winning, the future of that program is crazy. Not to mention, they got some crazy other teams in that program, which we'll talk about later. But at 9U, shout out to Fort Myers, they completely dominated again. Then we start getting interesting, Tito. We had the Mo Better Jags, who you and I thought was going to win the game, versus Santa Margarita. We're not surprised that Santa Margarita won. They was in the Natty a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what surprised me about this game. The fact that Santa Margarita was able to run power I all game, not throw one pass, and win that football game. Nobody would have. If I'd have told you at the beginning of the game, they're not going to throw a pass, they're only going to run power I, and they're going to beat Mo Better, you would have said it's not true.
I would have said no way, but what they had was a better game plan that day. They knocked Mo Better off their square early in the game. Their main guy kind of went down, and I just feel Mo Better never got back on their square after that. When Santa Margarita proved they wasn't going nowhere, and they're going to keep coming this way, I just think it took the air out of their sails.
I want to say, for all the people out there that say you have to have all of these dynamic offenses, Santa Margarita proved if you play great defense, you can run power I or wishbone, play good football, and all you need the other team to do is make one mistake and you can win a national championship like that. I'm just saying. And defensively, their D-line dominated the game. The D-line dominated the game. Tony said, I tried to, hey, Tony, we it's true. Fort Myers has the top 2 running backs, bro.
What up, Nicole? What up, Wesley? What up, Cuddy?
It's true. But yeah, so, shout out to Santa Margarita. Those guys deserved it. They lost. I can imagine the heartbreak they came back with. I'm sure that was in the back of their kids' mind. Then we had, to me,
they won the game they won the game top. I mean, Santa Margarita, yes, it was 8-9, but they were never really in trouble. Like they kept the pressure on Mo Better that whole game.
Then we have, to me, Tito, which is the most impressive team in the entire tournament. Richmond Heights fast break.
Yeah.
By far, Richmond Heights was far more superior than any other team in their bracket. Like, not close. Not close. 32, 31, 31, 31 zip, 31 zip, 32, 14. Not close. By far. And we're going to talk about it later. They have 2 athletes that I don't see exist nowhere in the nation.
Right. They got 2 dudes, 7 and
We'll
11.
talk about it later. I don't care. It doesn't exist.
They don't exist. They don't exist in New England.
They don't exist.
They don't exist in New England or Connecticut. I don't care what nobody says. Take the emotion out of it. Me and you've been around this thing a long time, a lot of different places.
Richmond Heights.
We don't got these two type dudes here with the mix of size and speed, but we'll save that conversation for later.
Save it for later.
Yeah.
So Richmond Heights, yo, no lie. The Berg Boys defensive coordinator comes to me before the game. He go, yo, I know y'all talking about Richmond Heights, but check my guy out. I wrote down the jersey numbers too to the kids. He told me. He told me, watch number 3, who's AB, and number 13, safety. His name was PJ. And I'm like, oh, the Berg. I said, yo, y'all confident? I said, have you seen the fast break? Oh, we seen them. Trust me, they gonna get hit. Tito, it's different. When I saw the Berg boys run out, I was like, they don't have a clue. Like, no disrespect to them. They made the national title. They're a good football team. But when I saw their team run out, after watching the Richmond Heights fast break, like, these guys don't have a clue what they're up against.
When I saw them, I mean, you know, I don't want to.
Like, they had some good players.
The 11U New England set, the 11U New England set was clearly the best 11U around here with the best player at that age group from around here. And
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
I'm just talking about this game.
We're talking about Harrisburg versus fast break.
Oh, you want to talk about?
I don't want to get into the player. That's a whole nother discussion. Later.
All right. Well, Harrisburg was one of the biggest 11Us I ever seen. And again, Richmond Heights made them look like they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? It's like they weren't even there.
The game potentially of the weekend, potentially the way it ended. NEO Flight, Gilbert Chandler Broncos. Shout out to Gilbert. NEO Flight, great football team, who I think was a little deflated, in my opinion, because that Fort Myers game had so much energy behind it that they kind of came out a little flat because Gilbert.
I know, because they were up 2 scores early. What happened in this game is Gilbert didn't go away, and they were getting 2s to them getting 1s or 0s. After the third touchdown, it turned into them having another touchdown, and now they was in position fighting for the lead. They weren't chasing. Next score was putting them up, and when they got up. You know what I'm saying?
You want to hear something? The head coach of NEO Flight said on the sideline, I was doing NPR at the National. He goes, yo, they're going to end up catching us and beating us because they're kicking field goals. Right. They're going to walk us down kicking field goals. He said that at the beginning of the game. He noticed, yo, they're going to walk us down kicking these field goals. 2, 4, 6, 8. 4 touchdowns. If I score 4, you score 4, I'm up. Like, I'm winning. Right? Even if you score 5, I'm still within striking distance because of the tools. And so that was crazy. I have to say this, Tito. Now, I can't, you know what I need to say, but I can't go all the way out and say. The referees, it was a tough day to watch referees. I heard something. I'm just going to say this to everybody out there. I heard some disturbing stuff from the referees personally. I'm going to share it with National Pop Warner on my own. But I heard some disturbing stuff from the referees, bro. And it hurt me to hear that from referees. And I just hope that everybody who won deserved to win. No team cheated at all in the whole tournament. Don't start making up your own rumor mill. But I heard some disturbing stuff out the referee mouths. And I hope that everybody who play at the tournament continue to feel like they got a fair shot. But this is one of the best games. It ended, Tito, on the last play of the game.
Last play of the game.
National Pop site. That was
with no time on the clock. That was, I think that was the second game that was like that, because the day before there was a game like that too. So,
Division 2, which we're going to get into.
Right.
The most shocking game on the weekend, holistically. Obviously, we know Oceanside Smack City is a perennial powerhouse. but it's shocking to see West Chase go down. Like the fact that West Chase has been in the national title game the last 5 years, by default, you have to always give them the advantage. They've been there so much. And I think it's shocking because nobody thought that West Chase wouldn't score a point. At least I didn't. Let me not say nobody. Even if West Chase lost, I didn't think that they would lose with the 0 points on the board because they run a very dynamic offense. They got a lot of moving pieces. They'll jump in a tight formation or 5 wides or 2x2 with a running back, like a 20 personnel. They do a lot of different things, and they throw a lot of different things at you fast too. Oceanside clearly did their homework. Had a great defensive plan going into this game.
Right. I never thought I would see West Chase get out coached. That day, they got out coached by Oceanside. I mean, Oceanside had a better plan.
I know they got outplayed. I don't know if they got out coached.
The plan, the defensive plan bottled up. I mean, with the weapons West Chase got with 22, 7, 6, 11. I mean, bro, they didn't get nothing out of it. That
doesn't necessarily mean you got out coached because you can't score. Every time a team don't score, don't mean you got out coached. That's all I'm saying.
You can say, I believe they got out coached. I mean, I watched the game. I was there.
Well, what they have done different? They do everything.
I don't know.
I
don't know. Against Bloomfield, and the game before, when they got him trouble, I saw him throw his way out of that. For whatever reason, he couldn't get the ball in the air. He couldn't air out. They couldn't air out Oceanside, and they couldn't really run against Oceanside because every time they got in their run formations, Oceanside was all over them. So I mean,
right, to me, that's on the field play. I agree with you. I think Oceanside defensive line completely dominated the game.
And that and number 55
was never comfortable in the pocket, and so to me, I know they got outplayed. I don't know that they got out coached when I watched the game, but I have to watch it again. Maybe you watched it in that peripheral. I didn't see a team that was getting out coached. I saw a team that was getting dominated up front in the trenches. But Smack City, shout out to Smack City, shout out to Shoop because I seen him on the video doing the.
Well, yeah, he's 14. He's 14. This was 13.
No, I know, but I'm just saying he was on the video. He posted the video on my post on the National Pop Warner site because I played this game last night, and I guess they got a symbol where they do the O, and I saw him on the video, and he posted himself from the stream, the picture that I had, so that's why I did the and then Coach Shoop pulled it off in a big way, might I add, which Tito we could also argue might have been the most impressive team in the tournament. 46 zip. 30 zip. I mean, Richmond Heights was unbelievable, but Oceanside Warriors 14U was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was different.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were clearly way better than everybody. Not a little bit. There was no other team, I don't care if you added 2 or 3 players, would have been within 20 points of Oceanside. No, they were that much better. So Richmond Heights at 11U could potentially be the most impressive team, but by score, this was the most impressive team.
Well, they dominated St. James. They dominated St. James from the kickoff. It wasn't even close. I mean, I was watching them warm up. I was like, all right, maybe this will be a game. Then when Oceanside offense came out there and I seen the big quarterback just dotting these cats up, I said, oh, they in trouble. I mean, in a heartbeat, they were up 16-0, 14-0.
Let's go to Division 2, 11U real quick, Tito. And why? Because we have a guest. We're going to bring on our guest.
Coach, yeah, that's 12U. You mean 12U.
I mean 12, my bad. 12U. Unmute yourself, Coach. You muted. There you go.
How's it going, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
All is good. Good to hear from you guys.
Yes. First of all, we want to give you your flowers for winning 12U. I know I went against you, but I wasn't really against y'all. Let me be clear. So when Tito and I sat down privately, we both was like, Creekside probably got Maryville. But I can't be on the podcast agreeing with him. And since he jumped out the window and chose you guys first, I had to be the bad guy and go against you guys. Even though we're in the same hotel, and I knew when I came back to the hotel, I was going to get it. I knew that.
Yeah, and those you ran into a good group of guys, man. They loved every bit of it. I mean, those guys work hard. The boys work hard, and I know you was going with us too. But those boys earned it, man, and they definitely had their eyes set on a mission, and they wanted it, and they were happy to show you what they could do.
Hey, listen, how long were you with that group?
What was that, Phil?
How long were you with that group that just won the Natty?
So this was that group's second time out there. I've been out there a few years. Every year we've come out, we swung our best punch, and it was always a learning experience. They came out, and when they got there this time, there was no surprises. It's always tough. You always want to put your best foot forward, but they knew what they were getting themselves into, and that every game they played like that.
Well, I thought their national championship, I thought their tougher game was the game before against Georgia. Once they beat Georgia, I knew nobody was going to beat them, especially in the fashion they beat Georgia in that second round.
Absolutely. And you know what? Huge shout out. At the end of the day, I'm the president, Daniel Cruz. He's the head coach, and there's no moment too big. Daniel is homegrown in the league. He's been in a lot of big game situations, and he accepted the challenge. And we're really big over here on these kids take the personality of your coach, they take the personality of the program, and huge testament to Daniel and his staff. They walked out there, and that game was not too big for them. The opponent was not too big for them, and that was a great team that they beat. And like you said, I think once they got through that round, they knew what was at stake, and they put their best foot forward and swung at it, man.
So talk to me, Mr. President. How many teams do you have in your program total?
So we have 9 teams in our program. Where we're at, the football after COVID, there was a lot of teams that folded in the area. Resources. We struggle getting fields all in San Jose, California. Even our team alone, we practice in the dark. Like we still have daylight savings time. I know not everybody does that, but we dread when it starts getting towards October just because we lose lighting. We deal with a lot of at-risk kids too. It's hard to get everybody to practice, and like it's part of who we are and what we are. Like we're a tough team and a tough program. We don't make excuses, but we take a lot of pride in what we do because we know how hard it is to get there. Just like a lot of programs, but it's definitely special. Like if you were really to see what the program was doing, the teams that were competing towards the end, we were practicing like with a dim light. Like there's no passing the football. We had to be tough, and we had to get it in the mud.
What was North Carolina the coldest game you guys played in?
So it's funny you say that. It was cold, but our regionals is in Reno, Nevada, and Reno, Nevada was pretty cold out there. They had some areas where there was a little light snow. We were okay. I know everyone wants to think California is great weather, but December for us is still a pretty cold time, and our weather is a little bipolar. Our kids were pretty ready. We had kids out there with no sleeves on.
Yeah, I did notice that, which was pretty unique for me, if I'm being honest. So let me ask you this. You were out there last year, right? Down in Florida?
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about the venue. Pros, cons, what do you think? Would you like to go back to Florida? What do you think?
It's funny. I think I actually talked to you about this in person. So, a huge pro that North Carolina, beautiful stadium, beautiful fields. There was no shot at Florida, but it's different when you're not used to running with sand on the grass, right? Those fields gave everybody an equal playing ground. I loved how that you went to the venue and it was old school Disney World. Like everyone's there. You could watch every game. As soon as our game was done, we saw the opponents on the opposite end. We saw fireworks. There were great games going on all around. And I think that brought a lot more than us having to drive from one side of the stadium to the other side of the stadium and looking on the app just to kind of like, hey, I want to see what's going on over there. I think it brought a different level of mental preparation. You know, the kids are seeing each other as they walk in, and everyone's there like a hub. So to me, that's a pro. A con, right? There's no there wasn't a lot of sitting room for the parents, which made the parents right there up on you. And I mean, we all know it's youth football. Anytime you start hearing a little bit too much in the stands,
Yeah.
it could question your judgment on what you're calling, who's calling it. We all been there, right? And all of a sudden, well, why wouldn't you do that? Hey, you want to get your best football in, put them parents in the stands, let the coaches coach, the players play. So I think that was a good thing that Florida did have. Another positive for Florida, obviously, the weather, it's nice. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Everyone wants to go out there and have that warm weather, but I feel like it was, I don't know if that's even a pro or a con. It was nice to see how everyone had to adjust. Like, and no complaining, go play ball.
Yeah. Well, I guess when you win a national title game, it's always nice.
Yeah.
Every team that was going home Wednesday had a problem with the damn weather.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, it was okay. So you said you have 9 teams. You guys start at 6U or you start 7U, 8U? Where do you guys start tackle?
Oh, so our league, personally, we start tackle as an 8U program. We do have a younger level. So for Bay Area Pop Warner, we have a 6U, but our 6U is it's flex football. It's a hybrid version of tackle and flag, and that's where our kids learn, you know, proper hand placement. They're still playing flag, but they get to learn how to block. So that's something that Bay Area does. And then when they're eligible to play tackle, they kind of graduated into it. Kind of helps the mothers and everybody get in there and not be so scared of their baby taking some hits, you know?
So it's always a discussion, and we're going to talk about it later on, other regions and what do they draw from. So try to give me an idea about, so Hartford, Connecticut is about 120,000 people. What if you had to say the population in which you draw your kids from, what would it be? Are you a county team? Are you one town? Is it like I'm trying to get an idea?
So San Jose, California has one of the biggest populations in the Bay Area. A conflict that San Jose used to have was there was too many teams because there was that many kids.
1.3 million people in San Jose.
Yeah, we're very big, very big.
Right. So, Gabe, hold on. You guys were Creekside was Oak Grove, correct? You guys were Oak Grove?
Actually, so Creekside, to go into it, after COVID, a whole bunch of programs folded. Oak Grove was one of them. We practice at Oak Grove High School, and Creekside is one of 3 San Jose football teams now.
Okay.
So y'all basically took them in, but y'all not Oak Grove.
We're not Oak Grove. A lot of people compare us to Oak Grove because Oak Grove, hey, all credit to them. When they were in their glory days, Oak Grove was doing what we're doing way ahead of its time as far as having multiple teams and always giving representation to nationals. So, I mean, we have a good football culture in San Jose and a good, you know, we love it out here. We love the sport. And in all reality, Creekside just landed at the right time because when football was drowning, and look, I hate to bring this up, but when I know we all dealt with it, where the CTE thing was starting to go and everyone was questioning if they should play football. All these programs were folding. Creekside landed just in time, and it was a home for kids that needed a place to play.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So you guys basically draw from all of San Jose.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got you. So you got access to that population, though obviously we know you don't have that many. And you don't have any 2 teams at any level, do you? Like, do you have 2 10Us, 2 11s, or 2 12s, or you just have one of each?
So it's funny you say that. We do have dual levels at some of the brackets, but we actually cut down. Also, like, you know, for us, it's not good to have all the kids, right? You need people to play. So we have a limit to how many kids we can have in our program, and we just go after it that way. We used to have double with everything, but it's a lot to manage on. We're a family-run league, man. It's my wife, it's me, it's my family, and we can't manage. That's double the headache. It's double a lot.
Yeah. And I had 2 10Us. It's a lot, brother. It's a lot. It becomes a headache. It become a lot. Hey, listen, y'all 13U. Y'all coming back at 13U to defend the title?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, that's the first thing, and this is a testament to how competitive they are. Like they lived and celebrated, and the first thing they brought up was like, run it back.
I like that. Hey, listen. Thanks for coming on, my brother. I told you I was gonna get you on. I had to tell them. I had to tell your guys in the lobby that I was going for you guys. Like they were my guys every day in the lobby. They took care of me and my staff, so I have no complaints about it, man. But no, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys too, man. Salute. Hey, you're doing a great job, man.
North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Hey, make sure you stay the same hotel too.
All right, man. We'll be back.
No doubt. Peace. 1 million people, Tito. Woo!
Yeah, but that even if they divide it by 3, that's more than any of us draw from. And that's going to lead back to that conversation we're going to talk about.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
but it's gonna
that's going to lead back over there. Why it is the way it is. But I don't want to lose track. We jumped to 12U.
I'm about to go back.
Saddleback 13U. The Saddleback 13U.
Let's go back to nope. We're gonna start with 9. Youngstown Bears, Tito. They were very impressive.
Dominating team, and again,
put up 33 in every game.
Another situation where I've never seen 9-year-olds that were like that. I've never seen 9-year-olds that were like that.
Hey, listen.
I know everybody wants to talk that tough talk and all that. We don't got them kind of 9-year-olds around here.
We'll get into that conversation later.
Yeah, what I seen Friday morning from that team. And not even that.
And nobody in this division to beat this team.
Right.
I don't care who you was. I don't care what you was. It was no shot for nobody at this division.
The physicality alone of that team. I don't know if there was another team in that bracket that could bang with those dudes. And that was a Florida team they handled very easily. That West Boynton is in Florida over there in that Daytona and Orlando. So it's from football country. And it wasn't even a game. It wasn't a game.
Lake Norman beat our very own Mount Hope Cowboys.
Yeah,
I will say this.
I was impressed by
the game. This was a game. It wasn't. Lake Norman didn't impressively win this tournament. They dug it out and grinded out and won this tournament. Mount Hope was within striking distance. Let's not forget, Mount Hope pops a touchdown that get called back, all because they said he hit the kid too hard. Not that he clipped or blocked, but when he turned around, he could have shielded him. Instead, he moved his arms, and he said he didn't have to hit the kid that hard. Though the kid would have made the tackle, so this was a close game, closer than the score shows it to be. I was right there at the field. Mount Hope if Mount Hope gets that touchdown, this is a completely different game. And I think it's either 6-7 or 6-6. And I think we got a different game. But Lake Norman, I will say I like their offense. They were a passing team. They did jump in a power game, ran the power game. They had a little bit of all that. And I give them props for what they were able to pull off, because they averaged around 20 points a game. And that was enough with the defense that they had to win a national title game. So shout out to the home team, Lake Norman. 11U, another one that could potentially have been the best game on the weekend.
Yeah, barn burner.
Last play of the game, Tito.
Last play of the game after Oceanside came down. After Oceanside came down and tied the game, like in the last 2-3 minutes of the game, they came down, scored, tied the game. These guys come back. And I think they won another one that won on the pass to win the game. They won on the pass play.
No, they won on the last play of the game. Again,
right. They won on the pass play. I mean, just imagine if that game goes the other way. Imagine that game goes the other way. Oceanside gets out of here with 3 of them things. Who does that? Who
hey,
did
listen,
that?
We got to give credit to Cali, and we got to give credit to Mid-America, Ohio. Those 2 states are becoming powerhouse programs. They are putting out powerhouse programs.
Like, I mean, I think Cali on the weekend took home 5 of them things. 5. WestCon took home 5 of them things.
It's either WestCon or Pacific Northwest, because Creekside and Oceanside not in the same
right
region.
Okay, yeah, you're right, because Creekside is Pacific Northwest, right? But I think they were saying Cali WestCon took home 5 of those. I mean, we could go back and look, but that was it could have been the game of the week. Could have been game of the week. And
then Saddleback and dominant form.
I agree with the gentleman, what the coach said the night before. Saddleback should have been in Division I. They were clearly nobody in that bracket could deal with them. Their quarterback, their running back.
To look like Down in Town would compete. I don't know if they had a down game on the middle bracket because they were up by 2 touchdowns. And then the Darien Swarm took over. And
right, but did you see what Saddleback did to Darien? I mean,
but football's a game of matchups. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't say because you beat me and he beat you, he beats me. That's not how football works. I just thought that Downingtown would be a better game versus Saddleback, but you got to win to get there to see it.
And Thompson, I absolutely agree with you that the 2 Oceanside QBs and the Saddleback QB was amongst three of the best players there. I absolutely agree with that the Cali quarterback play was different. And I told you that in a personal conversation. And then you guys, the kid from Arizona, from the Gilbert team, was as good as those other 3.
He was
as far as throwing the ball. The 2 Oceanside QBs were elite. I believe the Saddleback kid was the total package that I seen the whole week. When it came to managing the offense, being able to run, escape, throw, the dude was something different. I believe his number was 11, and his last name was Phillips. He was something different from Saddleback. So I do agree that the California quarterbacks or the Western quarterbacks from the West Coast were the quarterbacks of the tournament, in my opinion.
They were definitely dope. Like, seeing kids out there making split-second passing decisions. That's that
was one thing.
People on the money. That
was one thing for the week that I told you that obviously in the East, I mean the Northeast, where we're at, we're gonna have to start getting comfortable with putting the ball in the air and taking 3rd and 4th and longs because you need that chunk yardage if you want to win down there. And the one thing I noticed, the teams that separated for themselves had no problems when they were behind the chains. Start flinging that thing. You know what I'm saying? Start flinging that thing. So,
with that being said, let's get into what we were kind of hinting for. We'll jump around and get into it. The New England athletes just don't match up nationally.
Not right now. And I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, we can." I'm telling you what I've seen. I could name you some of these numbers. You guys can go back and look at them yourself. There's kids in these other regions that we just don't have here that I've never seen. I'll point out one that's an easy one. 24 from Saddleback. You guys watch, number 1, look at his size, look at his speed, and tell me where you have that here. The other 2, 7 and 11 from Richmond, fast break. Again, you guys want to say, the Western states got faster kids? Well, those dudes are from a cold region like New England, 7 and 11, and they were clearly 2 of the premier players in the tournament. Again, look at 9U Youngstown. Look at 9U Youngstown. Tell me where you see that in New England. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. I know what I've seen. Tell me where we have these kids laying around in New England.
The Firecat 2 running back at 8 years old. They could play potentially 9 and 10U in New England and be a running back scoring touchdowns. Like they literally can be that, right? And it's part of it is the mindset at the game. I'm physically We don't have, like, when I saw the fast break kid, number 7 and 11, I could be wrong, but they both look like they were around 5'9", 5'10".
No, they were taller. They could have been 6 feet.
Or maybe 6 feet. And they were the fastest kids on the field.
But
literally the fastest kids
they
on the
ran
field.
by our best.
Don't have kids by like that.
They ran by our best 11U, who clearly was the best 11U in this area, who has potentially the best player in this area. These two kids made them look like these guys weren't there. Like, that's how not even it was. Okay,
We did the All-Star
like
game.
they weren't there.
There was no 11-year-old in the All-Star game that would have matched up physically with those two
kids. No.
And that's crazy. Like, it's just, I was looking like, yo, how do you get 2 of them? To get 1, you lucky. They had 2. Snap it to you, snap it to me. Snap it to you, snap it to me. Snap it to you, snap it to me. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm just listen. If we're going to compete, it has nothing to do with putting together stacked teams. That's not going to work, guys. If we would have took down the Connecticut All-Star team, we won't win that game. We don't have anybody like that in the game. And so we have to also think about it. It has nothing to do with the trenches. Our kids were blocking.
Yeah.
You kids was driving West Chase off the ball.
In the trenches is not. In the trenches, we were competing where we're falling short from what I seen, at least this Super Bowl week, and I go to all of them. We don't match up in the skill department. We don't have them type dudes over here. I mean, if we do get them, we get them once every 20 years. We don't get the kid with the dynamic speed like Blaze, or the dynamic size and speed like 24 from Saddleback, or number 11 from the Gilbert Broncos. They even had one out of Arizona, dudes that we don't get here. And he was about 6 feet, probably 180, 175. He was a man-looking child. Did you see 11?
Yeah.
11 was no joke, though.
No,
we don't get that blend or that package of athlete out here for whatever reason. Could it be that we have too many teams in the short area here? That very well could be. It could be. But I'm telling you, collectively, we don't put together these athletes like what I seen this last weekend. Some of these other regions are putting out.
So, I mean, look, we have a lot of talent. Like I told you, I still believe, and I know there's some discussions about it, that the Bloomfield quarterback was either one of the top quarter, even though he didn't make the national title game. To watch a kid run around and score 3 touchdowns, even 4 touchdowns, even though 3 of them got called back, was super impressive. He had probably the most impressive play rolling this way and throwing back 50 yards.
He definitely has.
He was a dynamic player, right? But that's one in New England that stood out to look like he could compete amongst the most elite athletes down there. I didn't see many others, dog. I just did, and then I'm not knocking anybody. I had a team there. I'm not knocking anybody, but look at some of the athletes. Look at the Youngstown 9-year-olds. Yeah, like, look at these kids. How, like, and they're all on the same team. Could it be? Now, look, this is where y'all may get it. It could be that, again, like we just talked to Creekside, they're drawing from 1 million. We're not. Could be that. It could be that they draw from 1 million and we don't. You know what I'm saying? But amongst the elite athletes, we don't. And what I'm saying, it's not consistent. They seem in those regions to consistently get these athletes. We get them once in a while. That's the only difference. We get them, but it's not consistent. Consistently, you will see these athletes over and over and over and over. That's all I'm saying. Consistently, you will see these athletes over and over and over and over. And I don't know what the remedy. I will say this: if there's a tournament that's winnable, it's still Pop Warner. Ain't easy. Easy ain't the same thing as winnable. It's attainable. It's an attainable goal. But you're gonna have to have a combination of some special athletes, the right situation, the right brackets, the right amount of people that decide
the right draw. the right first round draw,
the second round too. And all of that stuff is going to have to play in to us pulling it off. I'm just saying. Could it have something to do with training? Nelly, I don't know, because we don't got nobody that's 5'11", 6 feet, and 11 years old that's that fast. Like, I don't know. Show me the 6 foot 11-year-old or 5'11", 11-year-old. I don't know one. I don't have one. I don't have an 11-year-old that's 5'11".
I ain't had one.
And so I might have not have had one at 12 years. I agree, JB. It's possibly D1 is out of reach. I agree. I think D2 is attainable. It's possibly D1's out of reach for New England. I agree. It doesn't mean we stop, but I agree.
And nobody's saying we can't do it. I'm just telling you, people got to start getting realistic. Not only do we fall short in the skill department, from what I see, we're clearly, because we're running the ball first.
I agree. C said number 4 from Waterbury, that tall kid.
Right, the big guy.
Right. Now
he has the size.
Add like King Speed to him.
Yeah, that's what those cats.
Add King Speed and skill set.
And ability and athleticism. Like, add that to number 4. Now we're talking. These two kids, I don't think you guys understand. Watch the second round. I mean, you guys had to see these two kids play. I saw them in one game. I saw them in one game. Within the first 3 minutes in the game, between the both of them, there was 3 touchdowns in 3 plays, and the game was 18-0. All right, it was 18-0, and they was doing stuff out there like if nobody was there, like if cats wasn't even out on the field, just doing what they wanted, pulling the shit out the sky with one hand. Just some of the wildest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, listen, they're very, very talented. We got talent too. It's just different. But let's get to what we came here to talk about, Tito. The culture in youth football. And should there be a line drawn? Before we do it, Tito, let me play the video that I posted that caused a lot of discussion so that we can have a real discussion. I think a lot of people on my thread missed my point at what I was trying to say. It got to, they have a lot of championships, and I don't think people. So I'm gonna play this, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
You can't hear it though, dog.
Sheldon, I'm gonna answer your question. Let this play. All right. I'm gonna let you go first.
I mean, bro, you guys know my feelings on it. I think it's complete garbage. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. You can't act like that at your job. You can't act like that on the high school football field. You can't. And I'm not even talking about the kids. The kids are going to be kids. But all the drawing with the adults, that's just trash. You don't see that in no other walk of football. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Again, that culture exists over there, and that thing doesn't exist nowhere near us. It's not offered nowhere near us. So it's something that in New England we could never be a part of, because you know how this will end up, number one. And we're not from over there. So I don't understand why everybody likes to look at it, because it will never happen here. It will never happen here. You know, it won't be allowed. The first time we have some dust like that at one of these venues, you won't have your venue no more. You won't have it. And if it continuously happens, you won't have nowhere to play. You won't get referees, anything. You know how that will go here in New England. And more than likely, that would erupt into a fight. More than likely.
I am so glad Mike just said what he said, because that is the AYF and YNC culture. And I'm going to tell you something. If y'all ever been in some real shit, when you get to the point where two dudes is face to face, and I'm dropping the N-word, and I'm telling you, you can't do whatever, just whatever. Stop acting like y'all can out there stop it, because you can't stop it. You ain't none of y'all out there so tough that you can stop it to a point. Not in New England. We're too emotional. Listen, I'm on those Florida chats. They jump up there. Where this fat F at? Tell them to pop out. We got them this weekend. Out here, somebody's drawing the iron. What you say that to me again, bro? Say that again. So once y'all got to stop with the, have you ever seen Michigan and Ohio State? Yes, and I've never seen two adults with their pants sagging, rolling up, talking shit, grabbing them, cursing, dropping the N-bomb. That's the part I'm talking about. Y'all keep talking about kids. Y'all miss my point. Look at what I posted, dog. I said, do you think once you bring in the street enough other street culture that you can possibly lose control? And we were bringing that up because of the shooting down at AYF. Y'all wilding if y'all don't think that once you invite it to that point, eventually if somebody gets shot, shut up about it. And stop trying to act like, oh, it don't have nothing to do. It was in the parking lot. So if somebody gets shot at the Hurricane game in the parking lot, Phil, y'all not going to say it was Phil had nothing to do with it? Y'all going to say, no, that was in the parking lot. Phil was on the field when they were playing football. No, y'all going to hold me accountable. So do the same for these national leagues. I don't know why y'all keep capping and rubbing their back so much. None of y'all get a check from them.
None of them. And it doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist around here. It doesn't even exist around here.
It don't exist in college football. Players talk in college football. Players talk in college football. You don't see two grown men off the stands with grown men pulling them back. You know why? Oh, I see grown men drawing a line. Yo, if I'm pulling you back from possibly getting in some shit, already the line is crossed. Because you should not be there as a grown man emotional over a football game. You're not playing. Literally, the kids are about to play the game. Literally, the kids are about to play the game. And y'all are ravaged and riled up, and y'all love it. Listen, I'm for all of y'all know me. I think the kids should be able to wear masks. I think the kids should be able to do the boombox. I love bringing the kids, letting them jump in front of each other, all that. Out of all the years I've done that, Garrity, out of all the years I've done that, you never seen me engage. I let the kids do it. You remember our kids ran off the bus, ran in front of Brick City, ran down their sideline in their face, got flags. The kids, you didn't jump out there, Garrity, and start putting your hands in no other father's face. I didn't jump out there and start putting my hands in the other coach's face, stood on the sideline. I let the kids be kids, but the adults were always adulting. I asked her about this video. That's not what's happening in the video. The video, in my opinion, crosses the line at the end when you see all those adults get in between those children. And I'm pulling home back. You getting spicy, he getting spicy, and you don't get to decide where it go when I tell you F you, boom, 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 boom. I don't get to decide how much disrespect you take. And stop telling me, oh, you know, real dudes know when. Stop all that bullshit. Ain't no real dudes. Y'all sound corny when y'all say that. Ain't no real dudes. Real dudes don't know nothing. Only real person and shit gonna pop off. and everybody got ignorant people around them. Everybody got somebody that's ignorant that is going. Only so much could be said to that person before you know you got to
or
grab
nothing
them.
at all, and nothing at all. Usually in them situations, it ain't
y'all
the
not
two.
keeping it real out there. Y'all capping.
It ain't the two.
I know that this. That
usually in that situation, it ain't the two that's arguing. It's the cats on the side. Somebody gonna get a bright idea. Somebody gonna steal on somebody. Somebody gonna pull the ratty out. You already know what's gonna happen. Like it's not. There's no place for it in what we do here. And cats got to stop bringing that corny shit up because the cats bringing it up. The cats that are bringing it up. The cats that are bringing it up are far removed from the space that we're in currently. You guys are far removed. They're far removed from the space we're in.
This is not my question. Isn't how much they win, dog? Like
nobody cares.
We do something.
YNC is not even a credible fucking league.
I want to reread what I posted because I don't even know how championships is coming up. Let me reread what I posted for my guys. I said, real question, whether you like it or not, meaning whether you like the pump up shit or not. When you create an environment and you invite the street culture to this point, meaning to the point that we see in the video with adults being pulled back, are you somewhat responsible when it go left? So do this. Cool, you like it. All of y'all so fascinated with YNC. Cool, y'all like it. None of you can take it. That's talking on the thread. None of you going to take a grown man spitting and talking in your face, talking greasy to you, pointing at you, telling you, you go put on a helmet. I bet you won't do it. You go put on a helmet. I bet I do it to you now. Do something about it. Y'all can't take that. And so I know that people, if I was with certain people, they won't be able to take it. And so so my question was, are you somewhat responsible when it go left? So if you're going to create the culture, do it. I ain't knocking it. I'm saying when you create that culture, you live with the results. So if it go left, say it. Yo, damn, we effed up. We probably should have drew back. But y'all don't do that. Y'all don't do that. Y'all go, oh, it ain't their fault. It ain't our fault. We was just trying to pump up the kids. Nah, you don't get to have it like that, bro. In my opinion, you don't get to have it like that. So let's start reading the comments. It does happen. What about Amity and New Britain? That's the fight. I'm not talking about fights. That happened because of a fight. Fights are going to happen in all youth sports. But the culture don't cultivate the fight. Adults cultivate the fight. That went to court. I'm talking about shootings at games. I'm talking about that stuff. Let me finish. You guys keep bringing up, don't do whataboutism because that's not going to work. Oh, what about this fight? What about when Hartford and Ansonia argue? When Hartford and Ansonia argue, it had nothing to do with the culture created in the league. It was a situation at a football game. Just saying. The kids, the talent, the kids are going to be talented whether they do this or not. The talent is there. The kids don't need to do that. Turn to YNs. What about when there was a shooting in Mount Hope when CT team went up there? Darity, Sheldon, just so you're aware, that was Rhode Island versus Rhode Island. It had nothing to do with the Hartford Hurricanes. So that still don't match up. I'm telling you as a person that knows. These were two Rhode Island dudes already in the same hood that happened to be beefing at a school where the Hartford Hurricanes was about to play a football game. Still has nothing to do with what we're seeing on video. You know what I'm saying? That's still not the same case. You're talking about violence can happen anywhere. I said specifically, are you somewhat responsible if you cultivate that environment and it go left in that environment? Fellas, listen to what my question is. Y'all taking it left. Bro, we not YNC. Who cares, Mike? Right. What does YNC mean?
Again, half. I agree with you. I do believe what we're seeing in that picture or that culture does lead to violence and does lead to lethal force and will lead to bigger problems. Because in most parts of the country, there is we all have egos. How long are you gonna take somebody being in your face talking crazy to you before you act a certain way? I know I couldn't do it, and I'm a professional by trade. There's no way. You ain't talking to me like that. Like you're just not. You're not.
I am talking about lethal violence, not just fighting, but lethal violence, right? Like for instance, most of the times when Hartford or New Haven, whenever our parents had an argument, it was over something happening on the field and them watching behind the fence, being on the same side. It wasn't 5 dudes from your hood and 5 dudes from the Hartford hood in between our two teams arguing, telling them, you put on a helmet, I'll hit you, you a sucker, blah, 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 blah. Because we done ran with you ran with the whole hood of New Haven, I ran with the whole hood of Hartford, and then we put a bunch of adults and grown men in between them. That's all I'm saying. And if we go, and let's say we decide over the next 5 years, you bring your dudes from the hood and the aunts and uncles that's your team. I'm going to bring the dudes from the hood and the aunts and uncles from my team, and let's walk them up face to face with each other. What do we think is going to happen eventually? What do you think is going to happen when we start talking greasy to each other? We can cultivate that environment, cool. Nothing may happen in year 1. Nothing, but when it does, we got to look back and say, damn, were we wrong when we start inviting the adults to listen, I have no problem with the kids getting pumped up, jumping up and down, coming out with belts, the music, the coaches standing frontlining with them, letting the kids get hyped. Shit, we do it at the All-Star game. We create an environment.
Right, but that again, that's the All-Star game. That's fun.
The uncles come get in between both kids. And
I knew you, Cash, was going to bring up
chatting in the All-Star game.
The All-Star game.
Go ahead.
The All-Star game is where that type of stuff, we built that for that type of stuff. And obviously, the All-Star game, when we do it, it's almost like it's staged prior. You know what I'm saying? There's production to the All-Star game. That's not what's going to happen in the regular season here.
Nah, Darity, I got you, but I ain't talking about football. Listen, they got some great athletes, bro, in YNC. They got great athletes in AYF. There's great athletes in all of them. They got some great football. Those programs in YNC will probably run through some of the Pop Warner programs, probably. I will even attest that. I'm not talking about the level of football going down, bro. What I'm saying is you see this and it looks cool until we hear somebody got shot in the parking lot. And nobody ever say maybe the tenor should be turned down a little bit. Nobody ever says what us still in the youth football community. Do we own any of it? Like, do all of us play a role in saying, listen, we're at level 8. Let's turn to level 6. We can still have fun. We can still pop our shit, but let's turn it to level 6 if it'll save a life. That was my point of the post, right? You can't build a certain culture and dodge the responsibility.
That's absolutely.
That's my point. If you create it and you create that culture, you own what comes along with the culture. You're setting taken over by adult mouths. They clearly took over that. Just a thought and observation. Maybe New England football need to get away from run first mentality. This new generation is a passing generation. A lot of kids play flag and could play tackle, but won't, because in the run heavy teams, wide receivers are wasted in those old schemes. Not saying abandon the run, but I agree with Tito said earlier. We got to get more comfortable with playing spread. I agree with that, especially 11U and up, I would say. Adults are supposed to be setting an example in professional behavior. Just come play the effing game. That's Tito's model. What's up, fellas? Appreciate the love for Oceanside. Mad respect.
Big
what y'all do. Thank you. He ran track indoor, but we cut it. I think she talked. AYF needs to take responsibility regardless of whether the incident occurred in a parking lot or on the field. The only reason everyone was there to participate in an AYF event. Security clearly was inadequate. When this type of behavior is tolerated or brushed off, it sends the message that it's acceptable, and it only invites more. I kind of agree with that a little bit.
I agree, because I couldn't believe is that the games went on after that. Like, how do you just go on after that? After somebody's down, man down type shit. Like, I didn't understand that, but you know what? That's not for me to understand.
The dense and strong programs down south create constant high-level competition. Iron sharpens iron. Every practice game is intense. But Gilson, can that be created without what we just saw on the video? Not probably, bro. This is the point I'm trying to make. We have to start being real here. Those kids are prepared to play high school in the right school.
That's great. That's great, but that's not our reality.
They have the most competitive ones. These are facts. They do not have the most competitive national title games. What you're trying to say is they have the most talent playing in national title games. But competitively, Pop Warner games were won on the last play or consistently went down to the very last play to 0 seconds. That's competitive national title games. I think that's what you're saying. That you have used from a personal perspective, you think that there's more talent.
We don't even have one of these teams.
There are kids that are prepped to play high school football right in Pop Warner. There are kids that go on to play. There's kids right now that's going to leave 12 and 13U and start varsity in our region, in Connecticut, in Mass. They're ready to play high school. Running up in somebody's face don't help you get ready for high school football, bro. The X's and O's of the coach that you're under will help you get ready for football. If I teach you nothing, but I just stick you in that environment, are you more prepared for high school football? I wouldn't say so. So being prepared for high school football has nothing to do with what we just saw on the video. It has something to do with what happened after the video, which is the football game. I don't think that what we see on the video has anything to do with preparing the kids for high school football. I just don't. I don't think that is the preparation part. I don't believe that. Naples 13U won Natty, executing the same play and putting up 30.
Yeah,
True.
They also had a kid better. They also had a kid better than everybody else in the stadium. I mean, what are we talking about again?
Back is crazy.
What are we talking about again?
All in all, kids don't care. They just want to play. I've been at games where the kids are humble and cool and the parents be creating the environment. True. Okay. Can we at least acknowledge, regardless of culture and emotion, immature adults is a dangerous person no matter what? 100%. I will submit to you, have that those same parents at a Hurricane New Haven game will be just as dangerous. Possibly without that culture being created. However, to bring them together, a lot of things got to take place in order for it to cultivate into probably what it spurred to with us pulling them back. What I'm saying is this environment brings those people together right out the gate. That's all I'm saying, if that makes sense. Football is becoming more of an entertainment product more than a pure sport. True. People see the raw clips, therefore, before, after highlights, emotions, but they don't want to worry about the work, the discipline, and the damage that comes from it. That, to me, is the problem. That, to me, is the problem.
Again, we don't even have one of these teams within 500 miles of us. I don't even understand why this is still a discussion. Our reality, believe it or not, in Connecticut, New England, is a simple one. It's either Pop Warner or AYF. We don't have no UIFL representation. We have independent leagues. We have Pop Warner. We have AYF. That's what we deal with in New England. We don't deal with YNC. We don't deal with Battle. We don't deal with these non-sanctioned tournaments in the spring and in summer. We deal with AYF and Pop Warner. That's what we built this platform off of. That's what we moved this culture forward off of in New England. Pop Warner, AYF, those are our two realities. All this other stuff was going on down south and in the West Coast or wherever you see all that type of behavior, that is not our reality. And people need to become comfortable being what we are and who we are. And what we are, who we are, is a community-based programming. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. You can't have county teams. I seen somebody say that earlier because there won't be enough games to play. It is what it is, bro. We are what we are. People just need to accept it. It's for the short future. It's not going to change. We are community-based football programming. That's what we are.
Played Georgia youth football growing up. Never did our coaches allow antics. It's the new hip-hop football culture. As long as it's safe, I'm cool. Anything more is trash.
Again, it's not safe because once you do it to
that's not
you
true.
Don't know, you don't know who you're playing with.
500 miles away. Brick City is not 500 miles away.
No, so
Black Hawks is not.
Come
on, I'm talking about talent.
Man, fuck the talent, bro. Nobody cares about that shit, bro. Nobody cares about YNC. We're talking about our realities here, bro. When you keep talking about the same shit, nobody cares, bro. You're the only one that cares.
I think he's saying that. I think he's saying that. Y'all talking about two different things. You're talking about culture. He was talking about something else, which is talent. I think he's saying, yo, we got high-level talented kids that's within 500 miles. You're saying that culture is 500 miles away. I think y'all talking about two different things. He's on the next subject, but you're reading back to it. I think he's saying that.
Bro, we're talking about the kids in New England. What the kids in Miami and wherever those teams are, you don't see no Northeast teams in that battle tournament. And not that I even care, but I will venture to say there's no Northeast teams in that battle tournament. Like, it's not our reality in New England.
Yo, we're talking about we ain't there because we can't put up with it. Like I keep telling y'all, yo, we too emotional in our region. Culturally, we're too emotional to deal with that. If I woke up tomorrow morning and I put on social media, Ty Carter, where the fuck you at, bro? You little sucker ass nigga. Yo, where you at? Pop out, bro. I'm waiting for your team to come play. Can't wait to see you Saturday. I'd probably be in the tribunal with Pop Warner by Monday morning. Let's be real, y'all. I'd be in the tribunal, not because Ty will call, because somebody's going to see it. They're going to text it to the RD. The RD is going to call me and say, Phil, what the hell is this? This is promoting violence. And I'm probably going to be in the tribunal about getting kicked out or being suspended over what I posted on social media. Our culture can't bear what we see on these films. We like to see it. It looks cool from afar, but bring that thing up here. Bring that thing up here. We ain't built for that. None of y'all, because this ain't been y'all culture, ain't at no 30, 40, 50 years old, ready to have no grown man barking in your waking up, posting you on social media, throwing curse words at you, saying, I'm going to bust y'all head to the white meat. Y'all not built for that. I'm just keeping it real, bro. We not, and it's okay. It don't make you no sucker. It don't mean you're not tough. It don't mean if you're a killer, it don't mean you're not a killer no more. Keep killing. I ain't promoting it, but keep doing it. I ain't trying to minimize your thugness. I'm just saying you ain't built for it because in New England, we're just a little bit more emotional over the small things, right? We'll get into an argument. Yo, some of y'all do me a favor. Please join some of those Florida chat rooms. The shit that they say in these chat rooms, I'd be like, yo, it's crazy the stuff they say. They talk about, yo, this fat mother Emma effer, and they don't even know the dude, and they're going to see him for the first time this Saturday. We do that. The first time we see him, my third eye is up because we don't know if it's beef or not. They don't even think it's beef. This is nothing more than you football talk to them. Culturally, it's different, and I don't think we are ready to deal with that culturally. I'm just saying. If it works for them, let them have it. That's all I'm saying. Yo, but hey, Darity, let me ask you something. Down south, we know people have been shot at youth football games. We can call it up. We can call it up, right? Where was Aqib Talib?
Texas. Brother? In Texas.
Okay, that's down south. He was shot at a football game. When you say it worked for them, what I'm saying is it ain't working if it's to that. We just saw AYF have a shooting down in Florida. I'm attesting to you that I'm not trying to stop all the fun out of it. But should the dial not go down even one notch in your thought process? I'm talking to you, bro. Like, you don't think that the dial should be dialed down none? Like, it should just be all the way on 1,000? And if it do, then who's responsible when a shooting happens? That's all I'm saying. And let's not say, oh, only the person that pulled the trigger. because he drove to the game. What a gun! He went to the national tournament with a banger. Y'all hate when the Kia boys ride through New Haven when they have nothing to do with the Steelers. Y'all don't like living in the inner city culture. Trust me, we will not make it a day out in that culture down there. Probably, I ain't interested. Piggyback off of C's. Howard County.
Let's talk about that real quick. I don't think it will work. I don't think it will work. I think you would have to eliminate the two team towns or two team cities first before we could get the county teams. I don't think it could work because people ain't gonna want to give up their piece of the pie when it comes down to the political part. You know how that goes. There's no way. Nobody's gonna give up power for the greater good. That's not how we operate in New England as minorities. It's not how we operate.
All right, I'm gonna answer this question. I'm gonna answer a question that everybody been asking. I'm gonna tell y'all why I don't think New England teams win national title games. You ready? For everybody that was at Pop One, I'm not gonna say no names because I'm not gonna call out kids. There was one region, Tito, that I saw when they started losing. Kids ripped off shoulder pads, threw helmets, tried to fight. Coaches arguing with kids, parents arguing with the kids, telling the kids to get back in the game. Coaches. There was one region I saw that mentally and emotionally broke down. It was New England. It was more than one team, so don't nobody feel personalized. There's multiple teams in New England. I saw any of your flight lose a national title game on the last second. They kids went down like this. Not one kid threw a helmet. Not one kid slammed and took off their shoulder pads, and the mother had to grab them. Father had to scream at them and push them up against the fence. None of that. I would attest to you that we have a mental and emotional football issue. Not a mental issue. The kids don't have mental issues. Football-wise, when we're beating you in New England, we're okay. But when it's time to get punched in your mouth and have your left tooth knocked out, we have youth that do something that I don't see around the nation, and I don't know how to fix it. I said this to my coaches. I do not know how to fix it. I see kids fall apart. I see kids in the middle of a game in which they can still win. Take off equipment. Throw it. Throw a helmet. I quit. And they're screaming at their own team. Meanwhile, the team that hit you is on the other side. Tito, that's like I punch you in the face. You turn around and say, yo, half, I'm going to whoop your ass. Are you mad at him? I sucker punched you. That's what's happening. And so we do that thing. And say what you want. There was 14 levels of football, 8 teams each level, and only one region.
And it was multiple. It wasn't just one team. It was multiple teams.
It was multiple teams.
Right. It was multiple teams. And it's not only that. It's our fan base is quick to turn on.
It's not just New England. It's everywhere. Then why didn't we see it anywhere else?
Yes.
Hey, Nelly, come on, bro.
We didn't see it. We didn't see it with the other regions. We definitely seen it with the New England teams, though. And maybe it's just because we were there. Maybe we didn't see it because we were always watching.
We didn't see it nowhere else, my G.
But definitely there was, when it came to the meltdown tactics, we were guilty of it. And of course, especially when you're losing, all of a sudden we want to fight or we want to throw helmets, take your shoulder pads off. We've seen it 2 years in a row with the New England teams. We have yet to see another region, any team from another region act like that. But that constantly seems to be our theme when things don't go our way at nationals.
Listen, we see it too much here. That's my point. Like, we happen to see it way too much with our kids, and we gotta. I don't know why. I consistently see it with New England. I remember another team some years ago playing North Carolina, and the father grabbed his son and had to slam him up against the gate down in National Pop Warner, bro. All because they were losing. New England melts down.
Right. No, Justin Cotton said the only other place he sees that, and it's true. We saw it happen a little bit with Mo Better, where you know the New York Cats melt down too. So it is definitely a Northeast thing. I would agree.
We are focusing on winning football games, not developing athletes. If y'all play, you'll get away with. If you play good, you get away with BS. Maybe that's true. And then when you can't get away with the BS because the punches in the mouth keep coming, you can't deal with it. I'ma just go crazy on my own team because I can't beat them. So I might as well beat you. Maybe it's the roll-on mentality. I can't beat everybody's beating me up, so I'm gonna grab my guy and beat him up. I don't know.
We had a couple teams win from Connecticut. We had a couple teams win from Connecticut in our Super Bowl week in Pop Warner time. So I definitely don't agree with that because we had two teams advance in the second round. And one of them was in the game in the second round.
Title, Tom, if that's what you mean. Nobody won a national title. I agree. But I mean, listen, I think I'm about to say something that I don't want to have to say. I think it's safe to say right now, nationally, in AYF and Pop Warner, New England is the weakest region, Tito.
Absolutely.
Let's go through it. The Pacific Northwest and WestCon we ain't better than. We clearly not better than the Mid-South, the Southeast, or
the Mid-America. We may be comparable to Mid-America. No, but they're winning national titles.
How are you comparable to America? All the Ohio teams is not Mid-America.
We're not.
You got Indio Flight. You got Fast Break. You got the LaPorte Slicers. We're not comparable to them either. I'm from New England, bro. I would love to say we are. We the worst region in all of the regions. Like I told, and I'm gonna tell a lot of cats because I played college at a level where I played around the country. Being Connecticut and New England nice is not the same as being United States nice. I know you cats don't want to hear that shit, but it's the truth. Being nice over here does not equate to being nice nationally. It just doesn't. I'm not knocking none of us. I think we got some great coaches. I think Rodney Myers, I think, is a great coach. He was down there. I watched his first game. He coached his ass off. Coach Rory, obviously, we know he's an elite coach. One of the best defenses schemes I've seen. He played well, good defense down there, right? We got good coaches. Like we have good coaches. But our region is the weakest region, dog. It don't mean our coaches are the weakest coaches. It don't mean that. I'm sure if I had two guys, fast break size and fast break speed, I'd look like a better coach too. But I don't have them, right? And so, listen, we're the weakest region. Just look at the scores. Look at the win column. I can probably guarantee you New England took more losses than any other region. It's true. I'm on the Pop Warner side. I don't know about AYF. Listen, I don't think nobody on AYF won the one. We are the worst region. Our best. We had two teams from New England. We had two teams from Connecticut win. We had two teams from Connecticut win first round games in Division I. So we cannot discredit that those guys didn't win those games. Like I'm not discrediting it at all. Yeah, I'm talking holistically region. I'm not talking about. I don't know if anybody won. I don't think no New England team won any first round games on the other side. I don't believe they did. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I know in Connecticut we had two teams win first round games. All right. So here's the thing. Yeah, but hold on, Half. I don't want to go down that avenue because I know what you're talking about. But for the most part, we was all there for each other. Like at the Bloomfield game was one of the proudest moments I've seen. The whole Connecticut for sure was on that sideline with Bloomfield, bro. I don't think nobody was hating on Bloomfield. I don't think nobody was hating on y'all neither. I mean, yeah, there's a couple situations, but for the most part, everybody that was there watching the New Haven game was in support of New Haven. I don't want to ruin the whole week over an isolated situation. Worcester 12U, I think, played for the third in AYA. Right, but did they win their first round games? We had two guys win first round games. Bloomfield won the first round game. New Britain Junior Canes won the first round game. My man should have won the first. My man should have won the first round game, but we're not gonna go there. Mount Hope had a lot of love. And let me tell you. Oh, they won. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Rhode Island, though. But yes, they won the first two rounds. So New England had a better showing on this side than the other side. And Mount Hope obviously was in the national championship game. I was talking about Connecticut. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you why I think Mount Hope got a lot of love. traditionally, I genuinely like the guys from Mount Hope. Like, I F with them, right? Like, I F with them. So I genuinely like them. So maybe I'm biased when I say this. Mount Hope genuinely have good dudes coaching. Like, generally good dudes. They're not on social media doing no BS. You don't see them on social media doing the uckery. You don't see none of that. So you want people to win that's good people. And there's certain people that's not good people that's going to win that people don't want to win. It's okay. But the reason Mount Hope, I think, got extra love is because they're genuinely a good program full of good people with good vibes. And people want to see people like that win. I want to see people like that win. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I think all the love was poured, and I loved it because everybody, I don't think I heard nobody. And listen, every game that was played from New England, I'm sure there was somebody out there hoping they lose. I don't think Mount Hope carry none of that. I just don't think. What's the first two games they said, Tito?
Okay. All right. So
are those regions more sports specific kids, footballers, football, a lot of family street football as football and not as sports specializing? I don't know. I doubt. That's hard to say. The South believe in track and a lot of multi-sport athletes. A lot of them run track. I talk to a lot of people in the South, and they almost make their skilled people run track. I think we should start having the Mavs versus CT regular season game at least once, not just in regionals. We already do that. We tri-state, Noah. You guys got to come down and join the fray. We already play Boston. We already play Mount Hope. We already play West Haven. We're already playing the Connecticut Mavs.
Again, Darity, because you're out of touch, like I said earlier. Bloomfield, if Bloomfield was in AYF, they would be in Division 2 like the rest of them, because all of New England and AYF is in Division 2. They wouldn't be in the bracket with OG Ducks and all those other guys.
But it's no guarantee. Football got to be played, though. I mean, you still got to play. It's no guarantee that nobody's going to beat nobody. I mean, did the Watkins have a quarterback like Bloomfield had? Because the kid's special. I don't know. I'm just asking. Like,
I don't know.
Look, and those
we were in North Carolina, bro.
Are spring type teams. They are spring type teams where you're doing tryouts and right, and you can't do that stuff here. So it's a different dynamic. NPR messed up Carl's Pittsburgh game. I don't what that mean. Those Mount Hope boys fought. They did.
No, they did.
Pam said track is important. Coming from a track star. Pamela Hughes, she was a track star in college. Kelly told me that, Pam. Oceanside was cheering for Mount Hope. They were good people. Oceanside is good people. That's true. As a region, we had bad football culture, but Florida is probably worse, but they are good. We have never had speed by comparison to the South.
No, we don't. But again, here's the
he said, what's the one in first and third and lost the second?
All right. Here's the anomaly to that. Ohio is a cold weather region as well. Very weather similar to New England. How do they have that type of speed and we don't? Somebody explain that one to me, because that one got me stunned. You know, those Ohio kids did have that flow.
What I know. You know this. I flew my daughter out to Ohio.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna tell you why. I know. But you know why? They have a serious track program. Like a community track program, bro. Right at the same field with Ted Ginn Jr. ran. He was out there training my daughter. I got pictures of Ted Ginn Jr., one of the fastest people to come from that area. They do track. They run track. They take time to run track. I was there in the middle of summer. They were running track and then practicing football. I was on the field with the players. I was on the field with the Ginn Elite. I went up and started talking to the coaches. Why do they have that speed? Because they're investing in track. Ted Ginn and this young lady used to wake up. They were telling us a story. The lady me and my daughter flew out to Ohio because I wanted her to run with some of the top track athletes in Ohio to see where she stand. She competed well too. And I saw the track that they running on is not state of the art. It had cracks in the cement. That dog field, I loved it. It wasn't pretty. It didn't even look like Weaver, bro. The shit looked old and beat up. The fences was pushed down. You can walk through the cracks of the fence. And that's where those kids were getting bred to learn how to run and be track stars and was constantly racing each other. My daughter was amongst the mix. My daughter was amongst the mix, dog. That's why they running like that. They have an emphasis on track, and they don't need top-notch facilities. They ain't waiting till the school get redone. They're sneaking through the crack of the goddamn fence, and they getting it in wherever they could get it in. And for me, that's like Rocky Balboa practicing outside and Ivan Drago in the gym. Rocky was using goddamn limbs from the snow. Ivan Drago in there benching with, they outside with it. I saw it with my own eyes, and then it hit me. These people out in Ohio different. They're really running track. Like, they're really investing in track programming. Having two league structures weakens competition. Teams are spread too thin, talent too thin, best teams. I think you mean two teams in one league, not two teams structured.
Well, two teams in a town, I would assume he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Two teams in the area. I believe, again, and I've said this many times, I thought Connecticut was better when there wasn't all these two teams in the town. But it's the way it's been for the last 15 years. We're here now. Usually when things move one way, they don't go another.
Noah, let's do it. I would love to invite you guys down to the big house. We came up there a couple years ago. We had a 14U team. You guys had a 14U, and my 14U was consistently playing up there. Football season over, you run track or wrestle. That's what a lot of people should do. I agree with that. Should Pop want to consider divisions based on organization side? I know it would be super difficult, but consider how to make it comparable to kids in the area. I don't think so, because some regions would have to be all Division I, and they would completely lose Division II. Our boys' whole team is running indoor track right now and outdoor march. See? That's Capital City Steelers, Coach E. Get elite 10 minutes away from us. See? Get elite AYF D2 on some levels. Yep. I was on the field with these kids. I'm watching the girls run track. My daughter's out there. The boys is out there. Ted Ginn Jr. teaching track, going over here and teaching football. It was amazing to see an NFL player give that type of energy. So what I got out this show tonight is to start packing up and moving my baby out of New England ASAP. That's not what we're saying, Destiani.
That's not what we're saying. But okay, let me just unlock that real quick. Destiani, you was out there those two games. Did it look like our Connecticut boys at AU was comparable to the
Our kids are 7. So that's essentially 11U to 12U. That's a bad analogy because the Hurricane kids was at 6U last year. Bro, if you took the 11U team and you stuck them in 12U, would they look like
did they represent our region? Did they represent our region?
Right, but my point is they represented the region because they pulled off a win at the end. They really should not have been the team representing us. A bunch of 7-year-olds. Remember, that's the only division we got that you got 2 ages. Every other division we age.
Do we have anybody? All right, let's minus take your team aside. We saw the 2 Capital City players who did not win the AU. Do we have anybody like that in New England? Those 2 players that were on Capital City?
Not speed-wise, no.
No. Okay. Thank you.
But that they invested in track. Listen to what he just said. The whole team's running track.
Right.
We don't have a whole team nowhere in New England running track.
Let's talk about
we
Fort
don't
Myers.
have no team in New England running
Do we got any kids like those couple Fort Myers kids from the 8 and 9U that we saw?
If we don't got 2 kids from Capital City and the Fort Myers kids are better than them, then clearly we don't got the other.
This is what I'm getting at. Like, we got to start being realistic about what we're talking about here.
Could it be Pop Warner New England holds its teams to a stricter rule versus other regions? What rule? No, that's not true. No. It's not true. So I'm going to ask you, Tito or JB, what rules are we held to the other teams?
The only thing that I think I find a little interesting. Hold on, I'm going to answer that.
Oh.
Some of these regions are at an advantage because what they do is the 2 teams that play at the end, the one that wins goes D1. The one that loses goes D2. In that case,
I disagree that they had a disadvantage. I disagree that that's advantage. I think Rodney Myers and potentially Seas would have still been the 2 11U teams had we played it like that. I think at 10U, Mount Hope and the Hartford Hurricanes would have still been the top 2 teams had we played it like that. I don't think our region would make one damn difference if that happens, because we ain't built like those other regions. I knew that was going to come.
He just told you he got 1.5 million people he draws from.
I don't care how many he draws from. The question that you just said was, if we played it all out to a regional championship and taking the 1 and 2, I think Mount Hope and Hartford would have been in the top 2 teams playing for the regional championship. They were the top best 2 10U teams in all year in the region. I think Rodney Myers and C's would have been the 2 teams playing in the regional championship. I just do. I think I think Bloomfield, who was the other team? 13U.
Hartford and Manchester. One of them wouldn't have made
it. I think Bloomfield and Manchester would have been playing. Why? Because Hartford and Bloomfield would have canceled each other out because they're in the same league. If Bloomfield still had one, Bloomfield and Manchester would have been the top 2 teams. Like, it won't change for us because of our regional structure. That's my point. For other regions, it matters.
I disagree.
So give me a level in New England where it would not.
I disagree. I think it's a better way to do it.
You can't do it.
I said I think it's a better way to do it.
I think Stratford and New Haven would have been there regardless. Name who is there a better 12U team out there better than those 2 and all of New England who could have potentially knocked one of them off? No, it's not. You see my point? Now, does that mean Stratford would have been D1 and New Haven would have been D2? I don't know. But in New England, because we're small, usually the 2 best teams are always winning our region. That's my point. And I can't think of a situation this year at 10, 11, 12, or 13 in which it would have changed if we played by that model. You just said, tell me who would beat Bloomfield or Manchester. Obviously, Hartford would have had to lose to Bloomfield because we're in the same league. Is there another 13U team out there that could beat any one of them? No. In our region, bro, it don't matter as much, JB. In my opinion, JB, maybe there's another rule. I don't think it matters as much because in our region, the 2 best teams always represent us. We just can't win. We might not have it at the youth level, but I believe some are high school players can play with the best in the country. Well, of course, I agree with that. I beg to differ from coaching experience, especially coaching FBU, evaluating players' tryouts. We have both size and athletes. I don't know, Carl. I disagree. I just left nationals. We don't have size and the athletic ability to match. People are just not looking everywhere. Where's everywhere? I've witnessed better athletes playing for local leagues that don't do nationals. We should not discredit our kids. We have too many teams, period. New York has less talent and doing more to keep it 100.
New York has a crazier population than that.
Yeah, New York population is like 3 million people.
Oh.
New York population is like, what, 4 or 5 million? Danbury 10U would not have beat us or Mount Hope. They would not have beat us or Mount Hope. They might have beat Mount Hope during the regular season. I just don't believe they would have won during I think they were too young and too little. So in New England problems, New England adopted to that culture, wrestling and track in the offseason. And age of a year is a big difference. I agree. We have many. And did I go back? Hold on. King number 1 is comparable. I agree, Destiani. I see a need for regional track meets. Well, I do regionals. I do track meets. Did the kid play middle school and Pop Warner? Phil, you know the kid I'm talking about. Blaze did. It's legal. Playing middle school and Pop Warner is legal, Darity. Blaze did play both. Let's build wrestling and track programs. I don't have time for that, brother. You maybe the general want to get with you.
I'm strictly football year round.
The problem with New England is we have too many teams playing local football. So that's what Tito's trying to tell you. That's not a problem. That's who we are.
That's who we are. Like, I don't understand.
It's okay to be who we are. We play local football. We don't do counties. We don't do groups. We don't send our – listen, I'm never sending my best players to your program. I'm going to be clear with you. Do not ask me to send you my best 10U players so you can win a natty. I'm telling you no. I'm not going to do it. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. And y'all not going to do it to me. So let's just keep it real and stop acting like it's ever going to go that route. You're never going to give up the best kids in your program because where we from, your program will collapse. Y'all know that to be true. Get rid of all the studs out your program to let Tito win the national championship in Bell City. And the next year, the rest of your program going to have on purple and silver. Let's keep it. That's where we from. That's what happens here. So I'm not sending you my best kid so you can win. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I know I'm old. That's what y'all going to say. But I ain't doing it. Our best teams don't even want to go. That's their choice. Winning going D1, a loser going D2 avoids good teams from sandbagging. That is, yeah, I've seen that. That's true. Teams will get there and blow the bag on purpose just to go D2. Good point. New Haven 12U and D2 makes a run. So we say, we don't know that to be true. We make our linemen do shot put and hundreds. All skill players do 100, 200 in a 4x1. That's crazy. That's crazy work. Hey, let me ask you something, Coach E. Are the parents paying for that and they bought into your system? Or is your program financing that for your team? That's an interesting discussion. Outside looking in, it could be the coaches in the region to pick better game plans to fit your region play. For example, Laporte doesn't have amazing athleticism, but they find ways to win. They're also in D2. But I agree with you. That is true. Laporte does find a way to win, Tito.
They do. They're tough, hard-nosed. They're a hard-nosed football team, and they're not the fastest football team. They're just a very physical, good football team.
10U Merrimack Valley would have won 10U AYF. I don't know that to be true.
Oh, we don't know that to be true.
County teams instead of town teams.
It won't work. Again, that's not what we are in New England. You guys got to stop. You guys act like you're the only ones that ever thought of this shit before, bro. Like, Cat's been doing this shit for you. It's not who we are. It's not the way we're structured. It's not the culture that's been set here. You know, Phil has to tell me all the time that things are going to change. Okay, a lot of things may change, but I can guarantee that won't in New England. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. Harper Hurricanes is 1-0 versus Fort Myers. I'm just saying. However, I spoke with your pres, Polo, and he told me Fort Myers is going to come to the big house in August. You guys are going to fly up deep, top to bottom. You're going to play the Hurricanes at the big house. I told him I got a food truck. We'll make all the food free for the kids. We working on that right now. We had a conference call. He put somebody on the phone who confirmed to talk to him, Polo. He said that. Cam Davis, 13U. Watch out. Oh, it's a dog. He's a dog. Let me troll in peace. Okay. Our bad. Parents are sold out. They pay. Wow. That's an ill way. That's wild. New England doesn't do track. We do track.
Nobody do. We're not saying we don't do track.
What we saying holistically, track isn't the next thing after the fall season like it is in a lot of other places. A lot of people in New England still stay in spring football. A lot of people in New England play basketball. We're more probably of a basketball state than a lot of other people. I mean, we got the best two college basketball teams in the nation in one program, UConn boys and girls, right? So we're basketball state. Basketball is more up north, die hard than football, 100%. And that's a problem because we don't realize you ain't 6'5" and up. You probably don't have a shot.
Going to the league. You're not.
Quiet, I don't want to.
Well, I'm not gonna be quiet. I'm gonna tell the truth. If you're not 6'3" or better, you don't got a shot in basketball. You got the 1 in a million. If you're under 6 feet, there's 1 in a million. You better be AI, and there ain't too many of them running around. You know what I'm saying? There ain't too many of them running around.
What is the average in the NBA? Let me see.
Yeah, 6'5", 6'4". We did this already last year. You did this 6'4", 6'5".
We caught a lot of flack for it. 6'6" and 6'7" is the average height. The average height in the NBA hovers around 6 or 6'7".
This is exactly why we're not a basketball forum.
Kids don't even play in large numbers anymore. I'm seeing way too many 20-kid teams with 50,000 people in town. That shouldn't be hard to fill. Everybody don't want to play tackle, man. Flag is hurting, and you can't tell these flag programs, they making so much money, they even want to do flag during the fall. Pat in the pockets. I'm going to keep it a buck. Down south is God, athletics, and family. Up north is politics and money. I don't know about that, Blaine. Football is an identity, not just a sport. Expectations are high from a young age, especially in the South. AI people from Hartford. Yep. The Iversons, my peoples. Do y'all play full spring seasons? I don't. Tito does. Let's be honest. Coaches can do only do so much. Parents have to understand that their athlete needs to improve. I agree. It takes an investment, a commitment. But here's the problem, Raphael. We have one-off training parents that's making those type of investments. You just heard Coach E from Capital City said his entire team is in a track program. It's just different. There is not one program in New England or not one team in New England in any program whose whole program is in a track program. Think about that. Maybe that could be why we're a little behind in speed. He's dumping his whole team in the track. We may have 3 kids run track and the rest chill at 8 years old. I'm just saying. They breed them down here. Tito will be having a baby with a 6'3".
Let me tell you something. If I had to do it all over again, I tell Phil all the time I'd have picked different. Trust me.
Down south football is way out. The path of opportunity to structure future up north. Football is just often something to do after school. Yeah. Football is not even taken seriously in New England as other regions in the off season. True. Flag is a year round now. We forgot 3 leagues is in Worcester County. It is. In Florida, we have our boys do track and linemen do wrestling for our same program. See?
Everybody talks that. I've heard people talk of that in New England, but nobody has done it. Nobody has turned their, like, let's just use your example, the program in the track and wrestling and have it all in one umbrella. I haven't seen nobody do it.
Where they rolling over.
Yeah, they rolled like 360, like 360 in a deal. Yeah.
They're giving me an idea, bro. I like stepping out on the. I think next year, I'm gonna announce it right now. Next year, the Hurricanes is starting the track program. Real talk. We're gonna start a track program. Hartford Hurricanes will start a track program next year. We're doing track. Danbury does track. Deo. I see them all the time. Coach E is right. I'm a Cap City parent. We do indoor and outdoor track. Our kids are active all year round. Nikki, you're not playing, are you? That's what I'm getting at, Tito, she said. And it gets dark out there at 4 p.m.
Wow.
Then spring is mostly for new kids. Oh, so they're saying spring football is mostly for the new kids where he from.
But that's it. Listen, there's a drawing factor. I know from experience, spring football helps you draw for the fall. Bottom line, if it's done right, it helps you draw for the fall. Point blank, period.
Yeah. That's never been my story, but we just happen to be lucky, I guess.
No, it's not lucky. I mean, for out here, you have a much bigger population than most of us. Like for out here, not like them California populations and them Ohio populations, but 120 is big in Connecticut. You know that. Like it's amongst the bigger cities.
I agree, Cam. I agree wholeheartedly. It got to stop being parents, Cam. And we need to start saying teams. We need to stop individualizing in New England and start thinking more on a macro scale, right? We really think micro when we start to talk about training in the off season. We love saying, hey, parents, you need to, maybe Cam, maybe our programs need to start focusing on training. Maybe our programs need to start focusing on wrestling. Maybe our programs need to create track programs, right? Like, so if the program is creating it, Cam, now your whole 12U team is doing nothing. They playing football, and Cam, in January, the New Haven Steelers is now running track, right? And then the New Haven Steelers is running a track and wrestling program. Like maybe we need to stop thinking on a micro scale and start thinking on a macro scale in New England. I think we have to take a little bit of accountability. If we want to see that trend change, it ain't going to come from one parent doing it, bro. I just don't think that's how it's going to go down. The kids and many adults in New England are mentally and emotionally weak. I just got a text. This is why New England cannot compete down there. That's the text I just got from somebody that played or was drafted or went to NFL to compete. Yes, but I coach football in the spring to develop and focus on the fundamentals of teaching. Right here, Polo, it's used as a competitive thing, not a development thing. It's tryouts, it's recruiting, it's a little different. Spring is more competitive than fall ball, and where you see the more committed football people in New England fail is at the rec league. Maybe. Anyway, it's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140. We are leaving. It is 10:45 at night. Everybody go to work. Drive safe. When you wake up in the morning, please take a second and thank God for waking up. There is some people that will wake up in the hospital that's not going to wake up at all. That's going to wake up with one leg, or they can't see, or one arm. So we want to be thankful for everybody out there. I will see you all next Wednesday. Peace, love, and hair grease. And New England teams in the national championship the past 3 years, he disagree. Easy. We got a fun-filled show tonight.
I met a boy today.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General, 860 Army.
She loving my style every time I'm
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited 6 or 8 you down to nationals.
I'm around.
When certain people don't get their way or they feel slighted, they feel like they have a right to call us and voice their opinion. You don't.
Clear. I've never removed a staff to allow a staff to move up.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Now everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town.